Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann. I'm a professional network marketer. I'm an actor, and I'm also an EFT practitioner. And I'm really, really excited because today I'm joined by Batista Gremaud. Hiya.
Hi.
Nice.
How are you today?
Good. So Batista is a best-selling author. She's a speaker, and she's also the co-founder of Dr. Fitness USA. And I've got lots and lots of questions for you, but I thought I'd start from the very beginning because, I know you've had an incredibly successful career, but it'd be really great to know about your beginnings. And I believe that you grew up in Switzerland, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, my mother was Dutch and my father was Swiss. And they met in Paris. My mother was a professional ballet dancer and my father was a mime. And they both met while on tour in Paris, fell in love, got married, and moved to Switzerland, where I grew up and started my career as a professional dancer, basically.
Wow, what a romantic meeting.
I know, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you worked as a flamenco dancer, didn't you?
Yes, so I started my professional dance career as a ballet dancer. But very early on, I fell in love with flamenco dancing. And so when I was a teenager, I moved to Spain to study flamenco. And then in my early 20s, I actually broke my foot, I had an injury. And that kind of ended my ballet career because then afterwards I couldn't go back on pointe shoes. And so consequently, I kind of had made a career in flamenco dancing because of the injury, basically.
Okay, so what was it like being a professional flamenco dancer?
It was very exciting and it was also very difficult because dancing is very hard on the body, but it was my passion. I absolutely loved to dance. That's all I knew basically growing up. And I traveled, and so I really, really loved my career. But it was very difficult because I had a lot of injuries. In addition to breaking my foot and having the injury on my foot, I also had some car accidents when I was in my early 20s, and that left me with chronic back pain and neck pain. And then dancing over the years, over the injuries, it got worse and worse. So my life was basically two-sided, right? It was one of glamour and being on stage and being a dancer and the spotlight basically, and the other side was like on ice packs, on doctor's appointments, chiropractors, massage, and everything to try to heal my injuries basically. So dancing, it may look glamorous on the outside, but for me, it was also very painful, basically.
Yeah, and I guess if you injure yourself, you can't work. There must be periods of time when you're not working.
Well, I managed to continue working, but this is true that you miss opportunities, right? Because of course, if you're at the top of your game, then you can do so much more. And there are things that I couldn't jobs or things that I couldn't do, and I had to sort of manage both. But I did manage to have a very successful and fulfilling career regardless. So, but injuries and pain really takes a toll on you, and not only professionally, but also your social life. Everything kind of gets affected because you can't just be at the top of your game. So yeah, it's challenging, let's put it that way.
Yeah, so you stopped dancing as a professional, and then what happened?
Yeah, so what happened is I actually retired 11 years ago. What happened is 11 years ago, I was basically against the wall. Okay, I got to a point where my injury got so bad, and I was really facing basically losing everything, losing my career. I was in so much pain, and it's at that time that I met Dr. Fitness USA. So when I met him, he introduced me to his strength training system, which the philosophy and what he was explaining to me was very different to anything that I had heard before. For me, as a professional dancer, my life was about no pain, no gain. The show must go on. And it was always about pushing the limit, right? And his conversation was quite different. It was about never doing anything that's uncomfortable, about working out from a female perspective. What's that? Right? About, as a woman, you have to stop giving, you need to start receiving. And I'm going, well, okay, but you have to lift weight because the program is based on strength training, and sometimes you have to lift heavy weight. So, all these ideas and concepts didn't fit together in my mind, right? Like never do anything that's uncomfortable, yet you have to lift heavy weight. And then what does lifting heavy weight has to do with working out from a female perspective? I didn't quite understand it, but I was desperate and I had prayed for something to come into my life because I was really against the wall. So when he showed up into my life, I figured, well, that's a godsend. Like that's the answers to my prayers, right? So I hired him and I actually went to the gym on his program. And at the time he was teaching the program at Gold's Gym, Venice. So this is like the mecca of bodybuilding, all the big bodybuilders, the professional competitors show up, and me, I was a dancer, so it was very, very intimidating. But I figured, you pray for something shows up, even if it doesn't look like what I had anticipated or expected as an answer to my prayers. So I showed up, and within a couple of weeks, my injuries were gone. Like my backache was gone, like in a matter of, I think maybe 1-2 weeks. And then all my other injuries started to heal. So that was like, wow, right? So basically, to make a long story short, I married him. And yes, I did. And then I made a career transition. That's when I decided that I was so fascinated with the process and with his philosophy and the system. I wanted to know everything about it. And so that's when I decided to put the dance shoes, hang them up, make a career transition. And then I started studying with Stephen, studying everything. I became a personal trainer, and then I started teaching the system, and here we are. Now I'm officially graduated as an international body designer, and I love helping people to recover their health and their strength, and to learn a new relationship with the body, because ultimately that's what it is. It's an entire new relationship with your own body.
Amazing story, Batista. I love it. So I actually know that you leg press 650 pounds. And I think, oh my goodness, that is a huge amount of weight. So why is it, would you say, that weight training is so beneficial?
So in our system, because we do it safely and we always work with ergonomics, okay? So it's not about lifting heavy weight. That's not the idea. It's not, the more you lift, the better it is. It's not about that. But because the body is protected and you do it in a certain way, the feet at a certain angle and everything really specifically, then when you push against the weight, it basically realigns your spine. It puts the body back into balance. And so that's really what happens. And so it's kind of like, you could compare it kind of a mixture of a massage and a chiropractic adjustment, right? Because the weight kind of pushes against the muscles And then because of we use an ergonomic pad on the back, so your back kind of goes back into balance. So it allows the body to really get back into balance. And then it also allows for realigning posture. We work on posture alignment. So when all that happens, it really helps for the flow to happen in the body. And so that's why weight is a factor. And it's not that you have to do heavy weight on all the exercises. There are certain body parts that require to do more weight than others, but then there's other body parts that it's much lighter. So there is a balance that happens between the whole body so that everything is in balance. Do I make sense?
I like the sound of a combination of massage and a chiropractic treatment. That kind of appeals. And also, I noticed as you were talking, I am straightening myself up. I can't help myself. So I know that you specialize in working with women over 40, and you actually say, I'm going to quote you here, that you help them look and feel 15 years younger by eliminating pain. Now, that's quite a claim, isn't it, Batista?
Yes, it is. And we don't make medical claims, so we don't want to go there, right? But by experience, by personal experience, and now for having worked in this field with Stephen for 11 years, and also researched past clients that he's had over the years, because he's been doing this for over 55 years. And at 72 years old now, he doesn't look a day over 50. Wow. And I can tell you that for me, I met him, I was 48, I'm 60 now. And personally, I can tell you that I look and feel 15 years younger than I did 10 years ago. So for my and I am pain-free. So for my personal experience, for the experience that I've seen working with people during the last 11 years, and also researching the people that he has worked since the 80s and looking at them then and today, when now they are 60, 70, I can tell you that it's obvious. Everybody looks younger, and people, it's the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
It's the fountain of youth.
And who doesn't want that? I'm 62. Who doesn't want to look younger, for heaven's sake? So 2 questions for you then. So firstly, how do you do that? How do you make people look and feel 15 years younger and be pain-free? And in your experience, and obviously you can't really generalize here, but typically, how long would you say it is before your clients start to see the benefits and feel the benefits and, let go of that pain?
That's a very good question. And there is no, it's different for everybody. There's no one size fit all. I can say that in our system, a person will start feeling better and seeing results very, very quickly, because in a matter of even 1 or 2 trainings, because the programs are soothing. It's more like a meditation. It's not like, come on, sweating, jumping up and down. It's not about that. It's really about reconnecting let's say, reestablishing a brain-muscle connection, if I can explain it like that. So it's more than just fitness, it's really an intimate feeling that one starts acquiring within their own body. And because they are able to increase their strength so rapidly, then the feeling good feeling happens really quickly, okay? The pain management, it depends. Like for me, my backache was gone really like this. Shoulder took a little bit longer. And I know that sometimes people say, well, I can't do this exercise because my shoulder hurts or something. But then we tell them to adjust the movement in a certain way. And then they're able to do the exercise without pain. Now, it doesn't mean that necessarily the pain will be gone right away immediately, but they are able to do the workout without pain. And what happens is it starts fortifying the area where the injury is, and it also reestablishes flow. Because understand that when you're hurt, oftentimes you're afraid to move, you're afraid to do things, so you're protecting the area, right? You don't want to aggravate it, and so it's fear based. But then what happens is the area kind of freezes, right? And this is actually the worst you can do. You have to find a way of continuing the flow, the blood flow and everything into the area, so that there is life that happens into the area, but also strengthening the muscles around wherever the injury is. So the injury now is somewhat protected. And in time, people just, the pain kind of goes away. Now, it depends how long, can't say. Like I researched people that I've worked with Stephen over the years, and there was a lady, she started 17 years ago, well, 20 years ago now, and she had a bone spur in her shoulder. And in interviewing her years later, I she told me that the bone spur, actually she was in a lot of pain for like a couple of years, but then the pain went away. I mean, a couple of years, that's the most I've heard of everybody that I've talked to. Okay, and it seems like a long time, right? Oh my God, 2 years to heal the injury. But listen to this. One day the pain was gone, right? No more pain. And then what happened is she had to take care of her mother who had Alzheimer. Okay, and so for 6 years, she was lifting her mother and taking care of her mother until her mother passed away. And throughout that whole 6 years, the pain never came back.
Wow.
Never came back. And now she's like 20 years later on the program, after all that happened, a whole lifetime of, and the pain has never come back. So how do you, what do you do with this? Can you imagine if she hadn't done the program and hadn't stick with it, and with the bone spur, she would have never been able to take care of her mother in the way she did. Or she might have had surgery like people do, and then good luck with that, right? Because anytime we can avoid surgery. What's that?
That's a slippery slope, isn't it? Surgery. Yeah, no, that's quite remarkable. So one of the things that I notice time and time again, Batista, is that there's this kind of stuff that goes on in society where people can't imagine that you could possibly, feel good and be fit when you're hitting retirement or beyond retirement. And, there are so many people that I speak to who are putting up with physical discomfort, pain and disease, and just think, well, it's the slippery slope. And I hear people time and time again say things like, well, you're not getting any younger. I absolutely hate that. So what would you say if there's someone listening who has that kind of attitude? What would you say?
Well, if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then we can help you achieve it. It's in your mindset. If you wake up every morning saying, oh, I'm getting older, and well, I guess you are, you know what I mean? And especially if you're not doing anything about it, then, hey, whatever you do on daily basis is going to determine basically your fate, right? So, hey, I know I'm getting younger, right? And, so it starts in the mind. You have to change your mindset, because, and it's true that I see a lot of people just settling for aches and pains because they do believe that that's just what happens when you get older. But that's not what happens when you get older. That's what happens when you stop moving, when you sit, when you eat junk. That's what happens when you do that. But when you are healthy, when you exercise in a specific way that is comfortable to your body, because you can also damage yourself with exercising. You know, I mean, I know for me as a professional dancer, I ended up with tons of injuries because I didn't know these things. I think that there is a way that that could be avoided. Like, for example, I know for me personally, if I had known about this as a young dancer, and I would have done these methods, I would have probably prevented a lot of the injuries that I've had. Okay, because you see, when you do freestyle movement like dancing or whatever we do when we are alive, a lot of times we're not aware of like, you know, we all have a stronger side than others, so we compensate, right? So sometimes we might use a side more than the other, and then the body, it's like a domino effect. That's how the body starts going out of balance, and the more it happens, then the spine shifts, and then, you know, it snowballs. But you can prevent that, and especially with strength training, because with strength training, let's say you are lifting 10 pounds with the right hand and you're lifting 10 pounds with the left hand, and now you can do 8 reps with the right hand, but after 6 you get tired on the left. Now you know that your left hand is weaker, and now you can do something about it, because you can have consciousness about where your body is at. Which who has consciousness about where their body is at to that level just doing life? They're not. We're not. So we continue doing what we do, and then we wonder why our back goes out, or, you know, things happen. Yeah. So I'll say, first, change your mindset, educate yourself, and then get a mentor, because I see a lot of people in the gym and they think they're doing really good, and, you know, and we look at them, what are they doing? People sometimes have bad posture, they go like this, and then they will go into an exercise and they're going to exercise like this, so they're compounding on the problem. You have to have awareness and actually work towards fixing the issues, not making them worse.
Yeah.
And we all have a blind spot, you know, so we don't sometimes see where we really are.
Yeah, and often, you know, if we haven't got someone else encouraging us, then we'll just stop when it gets hard, won't we? So yeah, we won't push through. So you call yourself a body designer. So can you explain what you mean by that?
Yes, thank you. That's actually a title that Stephen has always called himself, International Body Designer, because it's not, it is based on strength training. So somebody could call it body building, like what we know more in terms of you know, what's more familiar to people. But body design is very different, because it's much more than just putting muscles on the body. It's really more like an architect. Okay, so I can compare it to the person that's designing the house, the architect, and then the general contractor that's going to come and build the house, right? So the body designer is the architect of the body, the one that's going to see how to put the body back into balance, which exercise to do to maybe fix the imbalance in that shoulder, or, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like another example would be the nurse and the doctor, right? Or the guy that cuts your hair, or the hair designer, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the difference. Yeah. So the body designer is the architect of the body.
I love that expression. Also, it means that it's not like a cookie cutter type thing. It's a personal experience. It's a bespoke program for that person, by the sound of it.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
It will be something different.
Yes, absolutely. Because everybody has not only a different body and different needs, men, women, age, but also when they go into an environment like a gym, for example, not the, not everybody has the same equipment, and that's a big factor, because there are pieces of equipment that are very uncomfortable, and it would be really hard on the body. And then who wants to work out like that? And Stephen, that's one of his genius. He knows every piece of equipment that has ever been made, basically. So when somebody comes to him and says, well, I'm at that gym and I have this piece of equipment, and he can look at their body and know exactly which piece of equipment they will be successful. It's amazing. Like, for example, in the gym we go to here, there's one gym that's open in Los Angeles. All the others are still closed. But they just bought a lot of new equipment. Okay. And so we trying all the equipment. And, after a training last week, some of those pieces of equipment were so hard. I went like, my goodness, no wonder people don't want to do this. This is hard, Who wants to do this? Oh my God, so painful, like uncomfortable. And so equipment makes a huge difference. If it's comfortable, it's smooth, it's been oiled properly, and then you can have a really good time. And then, your body is ergonomically supported. And so then you can really feel that strength. You can increase your strength dramatically. And then, of course, that produces so much endorphins into your brain that it's an instant feel good. So, yeah. So we do like to work one-on-one with people and very customized. Having said that, though, we've done a lot of research over the last 8 years, because my vision was to be able to expand the business and offer the system to more people. And so in the last 8 years, I've done a lot of research and worked very closely with Stephen, Dr. Fitness USA, to be able to put those systems online and to systemize them. So now we do have opportunities for people to be able to do the program on a smaller level with less customization and still get really good results, and online. So yeah, we were able to expand dramatically in that way, which I'm very pleased about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exciting. So if there's someone watching, Batista, and they are really unfit right now, but they would absolutely love to, have long-term physical and mental health, what are there any kind of tips or any advice that you would have for them that they might kind of start to implement?
Yes. So a lot of times people, when we talk about fitness, well, they have this idea that it's going to be difficult, that they're going to have to sweat a lot, and that they're going to have to do it every day. And I say, just get rid of all these ideas, because those ideas keep you stuck. Okay. Because it doesn't have to be that way, especially if you have knowledge and if you know what you're doing. So seek a professional help. Like, if you're listening to that, you might as well just give us a call, right? Because why do it wrong? Do it right the first time around, right? So definitely go to our website, check us out, and book a consultation. But just first of all, forget the hard and, The second thing is understand that not every fitness activity will give you the same results. A lot of times when we talk to people and we say, oh, I'm a strength training expert, or I'm an international body designer, or, people ask, what do you do? The person will turn around and they will say, oh, I walk. Okay, you walk. Is that fitness? That's this much of fitness. Walking is great. I like to walk. It's great. You breathe fresh air. It's good endorphins. It's good for the body, good for the mind. But it's not like fitness. It's not gonna realign your spine. It's not gonna give you good musculature. It's not going to do a lot of things, okay? But people put fitness in one pot. You know, if they walk, they think they're doing fine, or if they do yoga, they think they're doing fine, or if they're on the treadmill, they think that they're. Hey, listen, if you were in a networking event and you met an attorney, right, you would know to ask, oh, what's your specialty? There's different specialties. There's a criminal lawyer, there's an injury lawyer, there's a family law. There's different levels of expertise that you would need to know. If you had a problem and you needed to hire them, then you would research, you would know. And it's the same for medical profession. Oh, I'm a doctor. Okay, what do you specialize in? You not go to a ear, throat, and nose doctor if you need a gynecologist, or vice versa, right? So it's right. But in fitness, it's like all in the same pot. Okay. So you need to know what results you want to achieve. Do you want more strength? Do you want pain management? Do you want posture? Do you just want to, what do you want? What do you have? What's your aspiration? And then you have to see which fitness activity is going to give you that which you want. And then do research. And when you hire somebody, by all means, do a little bit of research and check the track record. Okay? Because there's a lot of fads going on, a lot of false promises. Get the body of your dream in 90 days. Lose 50 pounds in 30 days. And you know what? This is great, but is it sustainable? Okay, yeah. Because what you want to do when you address your fitness, you want to look at it like a business. Where do I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15, 20? Okay. And you have to start taking action towards the long-term goal so that you don't end up at 60 years old looking 80 with injuries that you can't do anything. You want the other way around. So do your research, check the track record. A lot of false promises in this business. It's a business. People make money from this. You know how many weight loss pills and promises. No. Anyway, that's
great advice, Batista. So if anyone does want to find out more about what you do, how would they do that?
Well, they would go to drfitnessusa.com. Doctor is DR, drfitnessusa.com. And also on social media, Dr. Fitness USA, YouTube. We have a large YouTube channels with maybe 400 videos. And so social media, LinkedIn, and on the website, you also have the opportunity to book a discovery call, so that you can do as well.
To find out if they'd like to work with you.
Yeah, if they want to, find out more and see if we're a good fit and discuss how we may be able to help.
So of all the amazing things you've done in your life, Batista, what is the thing that you're most proud of?
This is by far the thing I'm the most proud of, definitely. And, I've had a very long, successful dance career, and it was very fulfilling. And I never thought I would quit dancing. I always thought I'm going to be 100 years old and still dancing. But I love the fact that with this business, with this protocol that I discovered 11 years ago with when I met Dr. Fitness USA, that I'm able to make a difference in people's lives. And really, it's, I've been in pain for 35 years, right? And it's not easy. And I know a lot of people are in the shoes I was in. And I love it when I can help somebody just get out of that rut, basically. Yeah. And so that's definitely, that is the one thing that I'm the most proud of. And the book, of course, the book.
Oh, yes.
Well, I wrote a few books, but this one I'm very proud of. feminine body design, empowering fitness for a pain-free life. And this dispels the myth based on all my discoveries and based on all my misconceptions about fitness, and which I had, just like so many women. And this one is obviously focused on women specifically, but all the misconceptions women have about strength training, I had. Like I'm going to get bulky, I'm going to, all these things, I had them all. So when I discovered, the truth, then I wrote this book, and I'm very proud of that.
Fantastic. And it's obviously a good book if you're a #1 bestseller.
I'm sorry?
You're a #1 bestseller, aren't you?
Yes.
So
yes.
This one, obviously a good book.
Yeah. Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Batista. Is there anything that you have a burning desire to say before we close?
If your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then Dr. Fitness USA can help you to achieve it. So make sure to give us a call or book that consultation.
I love that. Batista Gremaud, thank you so very much for talking to me.
Thank you so much.